Hi, John with eTrailer. If you're ready to take your Kia out on the road with you, flat towing, and you want a clean way to get your lighting signals to the back, then check out Roadmaster's Diode Wiring Kit that we installed on our 2016 Kia Soul. Now, why do you need a diode wiring kit? Well, the simple fact is that if you're towing like the Kia going down the road, you want to signal your intentions from the rear of your RV to the rear of the Kia, whether you're making a left-hand turn or you're hitting the brakes, or even if you're just running down the highway at night and just the tail lights are on, it's going to make for a safer journey. Now, the diode wiring kit is going to be mounted permanently on your Kia. It's going to transmit all of those signals through the power cord, through the front, all the way to the rear of the vehicle. And unlike temporary cords like the magnetic lights that you can see, yeah, those are easy to install, but they are also easy to damage. They've also fly off. If you haul RVs for a living, there's a lot of companies out there that won't even let you use the magnetic lights. So that's just something to keep in mind for some hotshotters and everybody else out there in the trucking world. Now, why do they call it diode wiring? There are diode packs that are installed. They come with this kit, and they're installed at your taillights. And what those do is keep all of the electrical signals that your RV is putting into your Kia, and it keeps them at the back at the taillights. It's protecting your electrical system on the Kia. So you don't have to worry about shorts or grounds or is that going to hurt my car. That's what the diode packs are for. Now, how does the RV get the electrical signals back here? That's the power cord that comes with this kit. Let's take a look at it. Now, with this kit, you're going to get a fully coiled cord, and it works for the setup that we have here. If you need either a hybrid cord, which is going to have a coiled section and then a straight section on it, or just a completely straight cord, we have diode wiring kits with those cords as well. Now, what you see is you're going to have the 7-way plug on one side and the 6-way plug on the other. So the 6-way plug plugs into your diode wiring, and the 7-way is going to plug into your RV side. Now, as far as installation of the diode wiring goes, this is involved, much like all of the other components of flat towing, like the base plate or a supplemental braking system. The time to install all of this would be, in my opinion, all at the same time. That way, all of the components can tie in. You've got all the access that you need to get this done. You will be tying into your tail lights on the rear of the Kia. You're going to have to cut your factory wiring to do it and to install those diodes. But if you want to see if you are able to do it at home, or if you just want to see what it takes for a shop to install this on your Kia, stick around and I'll show you how to do it step by step. Now, to begin our installation, we'll state the obvious. Of course, the front end is off of there, and the reason why is that we installed a base plate earlier. If you're looking at this diode wiring video and you're wondering when to do all of this, it's great to kind of group everything together. It'll make your life easier, especially if you're doing a supplemental braking system as well. Now, your universal diode wiring kit is going to come with 27 feet of wiring. It sounds like a lot, and on the Kia, it's probably going to be enough. A lot of times, it isn't enough wire. So this is 4-pole wiring on our base plate. We're going to be running from the front of the vehicle here, where the connector is going to plug up. We're going to run this wire up through the engine compartment. We'll route it out this way, and we'll come up by the battery because we're going to have connections that we need to make. Then we're going to drop it back down and run it to the back tail lights. I'm going to get this all run through the car here. We'll show you how I did it in just a second. Now, getting our 4-pole wiring up here to the front is easy enough on these Kias. There's plenty of room. So we just ran it up and around the air conditioning condenser and up underneath. And I left a loop up here in the engine compartment because later on we will be installing a supplemental braking system. We're going to need to tie into this wiring, so we want to keep it easy for us. So I just left a loop up here, and then we dropped straight down to go underneath the car. Let's get this up in the air and I'll show you what I did underneath. Here at the back of the motor, we drop down right here. We need to avoid anywhere near this location in the center. We've got the catalytic converter. All of that's going to get extremely hot. So we ran it. There's a big panel underneath the Kia on the driver's side, and it's just a few bolts to take it off. And we ran it up here all the way to the back. So this panel can eventually get reinstalled. It's going to cover the wiring up nicely. We don't have to worry about that, but Here at the fuel tank, we went up and over the trailing arms and everything. Keep it up high. When you're doing this under the car, you want to keep away from anything that's sharp, that's hot, or that moves. So that's just the general rule. You don't necessarily have to take the same route that I took, but this is going to work for us. So we're going to come back here to the back. Now when we're running this wiring, we want to bring it to the driver's side tail light first, because that's where we're going to make most of the connections. Then we'll have to swing some wires over to the passenger side, but we'll get this back down and we'll get the tail light off. Now to remove the tail lights on the key, you just need a Phillips screwdriver. And it wouldn't hurt to have a trim panel tool like a plastic wedge. You can pick those up either here or at the auto parts or tool stores out there, even online. They come in handy for doing a lot of this type of work. Especially on something as large as this Kia taillight. So, with the screws out, they're going to move a little bit, but there's pins on the outside out here, and that's what the wedge is kind of for. If you can make a gap, I'm kind of pulling out. Sometimes they'll just pop straight out, but a lot of times you'll need a little bit of action here. So I just slide this wedge up. Let me get over here. I'm going to kind of pull out of the tail light and just work my way up. Like that. These are the pins I'm talking about right here. So I was applying just a little bit of pressure to get them out. So we're going to have a harness that we can disconnect. Let's see if we can get it disconnected. Okay, so it's got a spring clip on the back side. You're just going to push that in and pull out. So do this for both taillights. Now right here in the bottom where the tail light gets mounted, there's a gap, and this is where we're going to bring the wire up. I've just got a section of tubing here. You can use a coat hanger or whatever you want. We'll fish this down that hole, and then we're going to come out at the bottom down here. Now before we send the wires up into the tail light housing, we are going to come under the car here, and I'm going to leave a little bit. We're going to cut this white wire and the white wire only. This is our ground. In your kit, you're going to have a ring terminal and a self-tapping screw that's provided, and that is so that we can ground our lighting. Get that off of there. This is the ring terminal you get in your kit. So I've taken a burr bit and cleaned up any corrosion down here. This is where we'll install our ground. Now we can separate the green wire from the rest of this bundle here. This is for the right turn and brake, so that's going to go across anyway. Now with this kit, you can wire this a couple of different ways. I had nicked this wire earlier when I was separating it, so this is another way that we can wire this. The brown wire is going to be our tail light signal, and that needs to go to both sides, the driver's side and the passenger side. So I'm going to cut this since I had nicked it anyway, and we're going to tie into it, and then the white wire that we used earlier for the ground, we have that left over, and I'm going to run that over to the passenger side to carry our tail light signal. Now in order to do this, I'm going to be using some heat shrink butt connectors. Your kit will come, I think, with some butt connectors. These, since they're under the vehicle and in the elements, I recommend these. You can get them here, or you can get them out at the auto parts stores and everything. This, once they're installed, they shrink up and they keep corrosion and moisture out, and they last a lot longer than your standard butt connectors. So we'll strip back the brown wire here, and on one side, let's see, we'll go, yeah, this side here. I'm gonna twist these two together. get those secured. Give them a tug, make sure they're secure. We'll flip this butt connector down, and then we'll reconnect the brown wire here. Since, let's see, we can just bend that over, and that'll fill that gap inside that butt connector a little bit better. Okay, so the taillight circuit is complete on the one side, and now we're able to run this and the green wire over to the other side. So I'm going to get my heat source, my heat gun. I'm going to shrink this up. And then we can send the yellow wire and the brown wire up to the top on the driver's side. Now what we need to tie into is going to be the tail light circuit on the Kia and the brake circuit. Now no turn signals. The first thing we're going to do is find the tail light signal wire. So I've turned the tail lights on the car. I've got a small piece of wire here so that we don't damage any of the connectors inside of here. This test light is grounded on the latch, or if you find a better suitable ground on the car, that's fine too. Just go through and touch each terminal. This one is going to be audible when we find the tail light circuit. So that's what it is for us. We can look on the back side. And this wire is going to be the green wire with a black tracer. That's going to be our tail light circuit on the driver's side. Now for the brake circuit, to find it, we're going to do the same thing, but you need an assistant in the driver's seat to press the brake while you do that. We did that earlier, and on our vehicle, the brake signal is going to be the full green wire on both the driver's side and the passenger side. Now the tail light signal on the passenger side will be brown with a black tracer. Over here on the driver's side, it's green with a black tracer. So we can start our connections with our diodes. Now we can strip the tape back on the factory harness. We want to make our connections as far back as possible without making it hard for us, because you need, with these taillights being so large, when you pull them out, you need to have enough cord on here so that you can disconnect it or change the bulbs, because these aren't LED bulbs either, so they will eventually burn out, and you're going to have to get back in here again. So you want to make this as easy as possible for yourself. All right, we'll start with the taillight circuit, and on this one it's going to be the green with the black tracer, and we do have two green wires, so be aware of that. This is the green with the black stripe or the black tracer, and we'll start here. Cut that. That's your courage test. We'll strip that back on both sides, and we'll talk about the diodes here for a minute. You're going to have one of the diodes that comes in your pack that has a yellow connector on it. That doesn't mean anything. All these diodes are the same. How we wired it earlier when we ran the brown wire underneath with the white wire, that was one way you can run these and connect them. The other way is you could have brought the brown wire all the way up and attached two wires in here instead, and then dropped it back down. So that's the only reason this is a different color, is it's made to accept two wires if you want it to. So we're going to use this one right now, and we're going to use it for the tail light circuit. On here you're going to have the in and the out. The out goes to the plug, to the tail light. That's going to be the out. The in is going to be our two ins, one being the car and the other one being the RV, our diode wiring. And on this one it's going to be the brown one. So first thing, I'll take that spade connector off and we'll attach it to the connector side, and this will be our out. And the same thing goes with all of these connectors. They're all the same, so don't worry about what side goes where when you take these off. It only matters once you connect the diodes up. Since this wire is a little bit thinner than our diode wiring, I'll use the blue connector on the factory wiring. And I'll use the yellow connector on our diode wiring here. So again, don't cut yourself too short. Leave yourself some wire here just in case you got to make changes or repairs down the road. For right now, the brown wire is the one we want. Same deal as I did down below. Since we're only having one wire run into it, I'll double it over, make it thicker, and that way it'll get a better bite on this larger connector. Okay, so got the diode out, goes to the connector, and then in, doesn't matter which one goes to what. So we'll plug up our RV, we'll plug up the car. Okay, so that's the tail light circuit on the driver's side. Now we do the exact same thing. This is going to be our stop and turn, and that's going to be for the green one here. We'll do the exact same thing, wired up the same way that we wired this. Then our in, car, RV. So that's how it should be. So we got our tail light circuit and our stop and turn circuit. Now technically the wiring on our driver's side is finished, so I'm going to just repeat that same process over here on the passenger side. So we've got these wired up just like the other side. We've got the outs going to the connector, and our brown and blue is a tail light, and in this case today that's our white wire from the RV, and we'll connect that up, and then our stop and turn will connect up over here. Then your kit, you're going to get zip ties, and so I recommend using the self-adhesive and zip tying this, cleaning this up. Now once you get these cleaned up to your liking, we did want to at least show reinstalling the tail light. So it's just as easy as hooking up the connector. Now the hard part is going to be with this bundle of LEDs, you're going to have to kind of swing them out of the way to get everything to fit. Now there is enough room, but I did notice that if we slide them closer to the edge of the car here, then we don't have any problems getting everything installed correctly. So like I said, these are kind of a special case. They're so large. So make sure your pins seat, and then just reinstall the Phillips head screws. Now when it comes to wiring the front of your diode lighting, you're going to get the 6-way connector for the front. You're going to get a bracket, and then on the back of the connector here, you're going to have screw type terminals. You're going to have ground, tail marker, which is going to be TM, left and right turn, and S for stop, and then a center 12-volt charge line kit. And we'll be using that today. Now this is optional. This is something that if you want to trickle charge your battery going down the road, it's a good idea to put it on. The S terminal for stop, we're not going to be using that with this wiring hookup here. So we'll take the back off of the connector and we'll put that on first. And then we can take our bracket. Our bracket today, I'm going to be mounting upside down just with the fascia on this Kia. It'll give support when we're pushing in the connector on here, and I think it'll fit better like this. So that's the next thing we want to put on here. Run that through, and then we can start making our hookups back here. You'll need a Phillips screwdriver. I'm going to start with the 12-volt charge line. The key to this is to make sure that all of the strands of the wires go inside and you don't have any sticking out and could possibly short circuit between the other connections on here. Of course, green is going to be our right turn. now be classified in here as RT. And so on and so forth. Just work your way around, make sure everything's tight and secure until all your connections are made. And once all your connections are made, just reinstall the boot, and you can use the supplied self-tapping screws to mount the plate and the bracket to the base plate. With everything hooked up, we're going to use a test box to make sure that our wiring is functioning as it should. If you don't have a test box at home, you can simply just hook it up to your motor home and perform the functions. With the test box hooked up, I'll turn on the tail lights, then I'll do a left turn signal, a right turn signal, and finally brake lights. So as we can see, everything is functioning as it should. With everything connected and working properly, that'll complete your installation of the diode wiring. And that was a look at the installation and some of the features of Roadmaster's Diode Wiring Kit that we installed on our 2016 Kia Soul.